I feel like you don't really care to be misunderstood, but what's one thing you wish people understood about you more?
Nothing. Fuck you.
Welcome to Hanakuma's Good Trouble, where we celebrate those who have the courage to disrupt the norm. I'm Nick Kyrgios, professional tennis player and your host. In each episode, we'll sit down with game changers who aren't afraid to rock the boat. We'll dig into their stories and the waves they've made in their worlds for the better. Hey guys, it's Nick Kyrgios here. Welcome to Hanakuma's Good Trouble with the great Mike Tyson, aka Brownsville's finest, aka Kid Dynamite, aka Iron Mike. He was a heavyweight champ before he could even rent a car. From birds to big cats, he's the beastmaster we didn't know we needed. And with a face tattoo that's more recognizable than the Starbucks logo, he's made his mark, literally. From Broadway to Hollywood, his journey transcends sports. That's crazy. Mike, welcome to the show.
Hey Nick, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a good intro, eh?
Yeah, I like that.
So what does good trouble mean to you?
Good trouble means causing shit without being able to get arrested.
So like causing a scene.
Raising hell but can't get arrested for it.
I like it. In my position, it's hard because I actually didn't like playing tennis. Like growing up, like I kind of just was good at it. I didn't like watching it. I didn't have any mentors that played it. I kind of just had to find my role and figure out how to win. Do you think it's a good thing to have a mentor?
Oh, you're nothing without one. You have to have one, you have to. That's our first interest into being involved with the world, having a mentor.
Yeah.
Even if you have a bad one, you need a mentor.
Yeah, I didn't have that.
Oh, you seen somebody.
But I mean
You seen somebody, even a mentor from afar. You seen, everyone has one. You don't have to know him, but you see him and say, wow.
Yeah, you're right. I had one then.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
We all had.
This player called, Joe Wilfred Songer? Do you know him? He's like good friends with Monfils. They're
I
both
know that
French.
name. I know that name.
And like, he looks like Muhammad Ali. He actually looks like Muhammad Ali. Yeah, I was just watching him play and that was like the first guy I kind of molded my game around. I love the way he played, like explosiveness, yeah. Yeah, I did have a mentor.
Yeah, we all do. We all do. Even if we have sometimes they call them anti-heroes that we learn what not to do. My mentor was Custody Amato. He had 2 world champions. Floyd Patterson was the youngest at 21.
What was it like with your mentor?
Beautiful, but hell. Yeah, that's what it was like. Beautiful, but hell. You didn't get nothing free. It was all about extreme discipline. That's why as I got older, I said, fuck discipline. But it was all about extreme discipline. If you had a problem, something about with yourself, you have to change it. Find a way to change your self-hate to self-love. And it's all about discipline. Discipline is doing what you hate to do, but doing it like you love it. I also saw I never had a family. I never had an upbringing. I grew up in the streets. Everything goes.
How do you think those early experiences shaped you?
Well, that's who I am. I was born, I was a happy kid, then something happened. And that happens with all of us, and that turns us into who we are today.
Who were some of your biggest influences? Are there any other fighters that you watched?
Roberto Durán, number 1, yeah.
And Ali, anyone like that?
No, Ali caused me to be interested in boxing. Roberto Durán and Sugar Ray Leonard made me want to fight. This is what I'm going to do, yeah.
It's crazy. Ali was a better fighter. Why?
Absolutely, because he made me. How could you be better than something that made you?
Kind of puts the debate of LeBron James being better than Michael Jordan.
It's all about his perspective of Michael.
How has fatherhood changed your perspective on life and your career?
I had quite a few opportunities to be a father because I have children that their ages change in duration. And so I made a lot of mistakes in the beginning. And I like to believe that I kind of got it now, but I believe in time I'll be even better.
You got a beautiful family and they're interested in tennis. How come I don't see you out there playing?
Listen, I don't know, because it's like me playing baseball. I'm hitting the tennis and it's going over the fence. It's never hitting in the boxes. Yeah, I'm disastrous.
And how has your spiritual journey impacted your life now?
I'm a Muslim, but the spiritual journey is, it appears to never be over. It's just, your spirituality change as your intellect change, as your soul change, your spirituality change. And I'm just at the stage now where, I'm ready to meet God.
You're at peace.
Pretty much, yeah.
Mike, what's your take on hypnosis?
I'm an exponent of hypnosis. I was raised off of hypnosis since I was 13, 14, to the end of my career. I always had a hypnosis before I fought.
What was that like? I don't even know what.
It only works with only certain people get it. Not everybody get it. I guess that's what life is all about. Not everybody's the same. But I got it. And it's all about reaching your self-conscious. You having connection with your self-conscious, your ferociousness. Everything's about being connected. And by using that for your fighting too. Everything's love. Everything's connected to love. Even us going to war. I got her back, she got his back. And it's war and it's love. Everything's love.
So you became the youngest heavyweight boxing champion at just age 20 years old,
Yes.
which is pretty insane. Got chucked in the public eye. How did you handle that? Like the fame, everything?
At the beginning, not too well. Because at first you want the fame of being a champion, but you have no control then. And that's when I first started getting in trouble. Because sometimes I might be walking the street, they don't know if my mother died, my brother died, or somebody in my family, I'm hurt. And they just jump in your face, hey man, give me a picture, hey nigga, give me this, hey man, I love you, give me this. And I might not be in the mood, so I used to be violent about it. And then I started getting quite a few lawsuits, and I stopped. I'm a glutton for pain, but I couldn't sign any more checks. So
How crazy was it? Like before you were at this, peaceful time in your kind of life, how bad was it? Like how low and how crazy was it?
Oh man, I was at my nadir. It was always being sued. I constantly blew my money away from being sued and going to court and just associating with the wrong people and making bad business decisions. And it was just the whole caboot, pretty much. There was just me getting caught up in a vortex of destroying myself.
Going through all those lows, I guess, struggling to kind of get a handle on things, that bad trouble. How'd you get out of that and turn it into a positive?
Well,
like what drove you to get out of those bad habits or, realize that you couldn't keep going down that path?
I don't know. What got me into that stuff was self-hate, not loving myself and taking care of myself. But once I got some kind of inclination of, showing myself self-love and stuff, things start to change. And I'm not talking about love. Love is not buying myself a new mansion or a new car. Love is buying somebody else a new mansion. It's pretty interesting that I found that out late in life.
What age?
Not too long, a year or two ago.
It's powerful.
The more money you get, I realize the less I need.
Yeah.
Really funny, right? That you work so hard to get it and then really say, wow, it's not that important anyway.
I love buying things for other people and seeing how happy it makes them. But I'm like, my team knows, like, I wear the same jumper, like same hoodie every day, same shoes. Like, I don't care. I don't really spend any money on myself.
I started out like that, wearing the same clothes, same shit every day. But I realized this too in life. When you don't have something in life and you want something in life, and once you get it, you don't want it anymore. Like the houses and the cars.
Yeah. You once said that fear is your best friend or your worst enemy. It's like fire. Can you talk about what you meant by that?
Well, it's all about your relationship with fear. If fear is your master, your whole life is miserable. You might as well don't even live. But if it's your friend, it'll help you succeed in life. It'll help you, because you're afraid, you'll reach your higher potential and you even play with over your highest potential, because that fear of losing, that fear of being humiliated, that fear of people laughing at you, that excels you to be better than what you actually are. You'd be surprised how many people are great because of shame.
I think the cool thing about tennis is, like, I've traveled the world at a young age. Like, I saw a lot of eye-opening things. I feel like I had to grow up really quickly. Like, I wasn't always traveling with my family. I was kind of just thrown into the deep end pretty early. And I feel like I learned a lot of life lessons pretty early. Like, what was, like, life lessons you learned in the ring that you now use outside of, like, your everyday life?
that life is not, just like in the ring, it's not as bad as actually your mind makes it. And it's the same way in life. Your mind make ordeals that happen, more dangerous and more important than they actually are. Your mind has to be your friend, because your mind is not your friend. At the start you're born, it's not your friend. It tells you to do crazy shit, you have no control over it. But once you have control over your mind and it becomes your friend, it's going to relay good things to you and positive things. But if you let it run wild and don't control it, it'll tell you kill yourself, kill your kids, just burn yourself up. It doesn't know you're not his friend yet or its friend yet. You have to develop a relationship with your mind, your fear, your whole aura of personality, your whole, your ethos of life.
Do you feel like when people were walking into the ring against you at any stage, like they were already beaten?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I feel like Federer, Djokovic, and Nadal, that most of the people lose before they get out there.
Yeah. See, listen, Nadal, he does the great, and that's like how I did. Like the opponent would be standing here and I would just keep looking. He run fast, and that intimidates the guy. They say, wow, he's running fast and all that stuff. He's not even sweating yet.
Yeah.
And I'm just standing still and I'm sweating out of fear, because it's the control of the emotion. That's what life is all about, controlling your emotions.
I remember I was getting ready to play Nadal in Cincinnati one year, and he was next to me doing his crazy warm-up, had his headphones on, and I was like, this guy he's pretty intense. And then he took off his headphones and it was just opera music playing. That really psyched me out.
Yeah, opera music is very, very, very ominous.
Yeah, you listen to opera too?
I'm used to.
Yeah. Before you fought?
No, yes, in life, before I go out and do my shit.
Yeah.
Any kind of sporting event where it appears that you're by yourself and it's just you and another, because we're never by ourselves. In life either, we're never by ourselves. We have the instructions of our coaches, our friends, and that goes into the ring and then the court with us. You know what I mean? We never have our own mind. We always have some influence. I remember I seen this, I remember I seen that, or somebody told me this before. No one person's an island. In order to succeed, you have to have help.
When you were boxing, and you go to your corner, right? So in tennis, you have change of ends where you kind of sit there for, I think it's 90 seconds. You sit there on your own. You have thoughts. You can't really relay them to anyone. And, a match could go for 5 hours. So I'm on court for 4 hours and 30 minutes. I'm not talking to anyone. I'm inside my head. When you were fighting and you went back to your corner, how much did that, being able to talk, did you ever talk? Did you really talk to your team?
I never talked much to them because I knew what they were going to say when I came to the corner. I know what I did in the ring that was wrong. I know what I slipped. I should have did this again. And I know what they're going to tell me.
So you already knew everything?
Pretty much, yeah.
Because at times I feel like on the tennis court, I'm always talking. People always say, why is he talking to himself? I feel like that could have helped me a lot.
I don't know. You got to tell them you enjoy talking to intelligent people. That's when I talk to myself, that's what I say to them.
It's a good way to shut people up. Are you at peace with all your accomplishments? Are you moving on from them? Have you completely moved on from that period of your life?
No way. I have accomplishments to the day I die. I think that keeps you alive in some particular way. You have to have goals. Without goals, who are we? What do? We're going to be old people just sitting down. We can have goals and just having better relationships with our family members. Die with dignity without crying and being in despair and being in regret.
In your career, is there any regrets or anything you would have done differently? Or you like where it all kind of panned out?
Of course you have regrets. Without those regrets, without those failures, you'll never be able to succeed after sports. A lot of people hold their regrets with them from sports. I just hold my regrets from life. Because sports and everything else in life, when God said, let there be life, let there be light, it was already written. This been written trillions of years ago. My belief in life. Everything's already been written. Us meeting each other, my daughter being born, these people meet us engaging and look, never see each other again, but yes, this has all been already established.
Yeah, it's, that perspective is I never thought I'd be sitting here interviewing Mike Tyson.
I never thought I'd be interviewing you either.
Yeah, I know, but Mike Tyson, Nick Kyrgios, different.
We talk about Durán outfit, you're crazy. Wow, we're exciting, crazy. He's the best. We hope he won a championship.
Yeah,
Like you're one of the family members. We talk about you like we know you.
Well, I mean, first of all, you need to say how your family watches me on TV. Like, I don't understand how your kind of family gets into tennis. How did that happen?
Listen, my wife she wanted to get my daughter involved with something. She just didn't want to be around the house eating all day, gaining weight like most kids do now. And she just saw somebody, it wasn't the proper guy, but he put us on the track. Somebody that's in that tennis trainer. So my wife wrote it down and just took her right to tennis. And the worst thing that happened,
When she was good?
she won her first tournament at 3 or 4, something like that. Now it's never going to stop. Then she's just not going to stop. She went through a period of losing a lot. She never got discouraged, and she continues to play and win. And that's what makes people champions. Not that they win, but they lose and don't get discouraged. That makes you a champion. Not that you beat everybody. That makes you a champion. Yeah, in order to be a champion, you have to know what defeat feels like.
Yep.
And then even if you won every tennis match in your career, you had to know defeat from the beginning when you were a little kid like my daughter was and stuff. And it sticks with you till you're an adult. You never forget those losses. You remember who beat you as a kid, right?
Yep. Yeah, with tennis, you're losing every week as well. You got to become a good loser.
Just like in fighting, like I wasn't Mike Tyson. I wasn't born Mike Tyson. I got my ass kicked. I got knocked out a lot. I had to learn the rules. I had to learn the game. I had to learn to be disciplined and never give up. Don't care if you get knocked out 100 times. Never give up. And that's what life is about. And I wanted to be up more than anybody in the world wanted me to be down. So I didn't care about nothing. I knew I was going to be the best.
And when your daughter's playing Wimbledon one day, you're going to be there watching in that court. You got to be super quiet though. You can't make a noise.
I'm not going to be quiet. They're going to kick me out.
No, you can't.
No, I know. I'm proud, and I'm ferocious out there when my daughter's playing. I want to fight when she's playing, especially if somebody says something that's I may consider disrespectful. Yeah.
You can't say anything in tennis. Everything's disrespectful.
Excuse me?
Everything's disrespectful in tennis.
They have to kick me out. If my daughter's playing in a world championship, US Open, Wimbledon, they got to kick me out.
I feel like you don't really care to be misunderstood, but what's one thing you wish people understood about you more without explaining yourself all the time?
Nothing. Nothing, no. Fuck you. Nothing.
Once it's all said and done, how do you want to be remembered?
Oh,
For
man.
like your boxing or for other things, like what do you want to leave your mark as?
Just passing through. That's all we all do. We just passing through.
How do you see the sport of boxing today versus how you kind of left it?
You know, it's a funny question because of technology, more people are able to see fighters now than they did when I was fighting. When you see these fighters, we made a lot of money when we were fighting for our time. You see these guys are fighting now, they're not making 10 or 15. Even I'm talking about the little guys too, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Durán, Tommy Hearn. These small guys are not making money like these. These guys are making $15 million in the 80s.
Yeah.
That's like, I don't know, that's like $45 million now. The time changes and they're just not making this. Look, Terrence Crawford in the box, he's fighting Aerosmith. He's the best fighter in the world, but he can't draw 5,000 people. So like yourself, it has to come to being the best. It has to be entertaining. It has to be exciting. The best fighters in the world can't, like I said, they could beat anybody. They could beat anybody in the world, but they can't draw 5,000 tickets. You know, that's because they're not exciting. The way they make their money because their opponents are very exciting. They got a big following. But there's people, I'm sure they're in tennis, there's guys that can beat everybody, but they look like shit, like watching grass grow, you know?
Yeah, let's not mention any names. I know in my parts of my career I struggled with, people criticizing, everyone's got their advice to give you. Like, what would you tell other athletes? And, I'm listening to this as well. Like, what would your advice be to them, like, with dealing with all the criticism and just, like, being able to push forward? Because I guess you overcame everything and was a champion. Like, you did it all. Where, like, someone like me, I really struggled with, large parts of my career, I really struggled with overcoming it all.
Never get discouraged and never give up. Never give up, because at one time, they were trying to starve me to death, and I couldn't make money, I had bad reputation, And if you can't make money, what do? You kind of get discouraged and destroy yourself. You feel useless, you feel helpless, can't take care of your family. And that's what I went through most of my life because I didn't care. And I didn't realize the world have a bigger, I don't fuck you hand. And so I lost in that particular game. But in time, I matured. I didn't give up. I didn't get discouraged. And I have this podcast with awesome people like yourself I'm able to talk to. And it all comes to not giving up, not going back into drugs, not going back into women, not going back into liquor. If you want to change in your life, you have to change. And that's what I wanted. So I got married to my wife, and my wife had to deal with me with my fucking ODs and all that bullshit. And we finally, we had my daughter. And then I said, "Look, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna try to do this right. I'm gonna try to take care of her and do the right thing."
They told me you're looking for a tennis coach.
Well, listen, we had not many, but we had a few, and not all of them were true tennis coaches. I'm sure you know about that.
Yeah, that's true.
They have good pitches and stuff, but they're not the people they say they are.
I might transition into coaching soon, so
You should.
I'll be free.
You should. That would be awesome to a bunch of kids.
Appreciate it.
Do you have a camp?
I would want to one day, probably. Like, I like playing, every time there's like a tournament and there's like a kids' day or something, a lot of kids come, they buy tickets and they see some players. I love doing that type of stuff, so
Yeah.
one day for sure.
I like doing that too, charity work with the kids.
If you weren't a boxer, what would you be? What would you be doing?
Stone cold criminal.
I do believe that.
Once you become a criminal and then you become me, you have too much pride to steal.
So boxing was like your savior.
Oh, big time. Big time.
If I didn't play tennis, I would definitely be trying to play basketball. Definitely.
Yeah.
But
I never played sports in my life until I started fighting.
yeah.
Never
Did you
played
do any like cross training when you were?
No, fighting?
Yeah, when you were fighting.
Yeah, fighting, I did everything. That's why my body is so destroyed. Yeah, I did it all. I ran all day.
Yeah.
Trained all day. Like
Yeah.
my daughter does training 4 hours here, 2 hours here, the whole
You were all
day.
day.
The whole day. Even if I was going to a shopping center or a mall, the mall would be 7 miles, I'd walk it. Walk it back. Everything I did was consistent of working out. Everything.
So you were training like that and doing all that, and then that was when you were still like drinking and partying and stuff?
Yeah.
No matter what you did at nighttime, you always showed up the next day.
I always trained after I got high, party. I burnt the candle at both ends. I trained hard and I partied hard. And the candle burns out real quick.
And you think if you didn't do that, it would have lasted a bit longer?
If I didn't do that, I wouldn't be Mike Tyson. All that make me who I am now, why everybody says, hey, he's the greatest, and you can't go outside. That's because I have flaws.
Yeah.
No one likes perfection.
No.
They always, they maybe like it, but we never receive it. Because life is about flaws and learning from our flaws. Life is not perfection. It's not one person and we're perfected and we don't divert. It doesn't work. Life doesn't work like that. We learn from our experience on diverting. Everything's this big, this whole planet's one big school, and we're students. And just like school, some people learn quicker than others. And some people learn really, really late.
Some don't learn at all.
They learn, but everybody learns. It appears that they don't. Even if they get killed, everybody learns.
All right, Mike, we ran out of time, but thanks for coming on. Absolute pleasure.
Really a pleasure, thank you.
I appreciate it, and good luck with anything that comes your way.
And ditto, the same to you, brother.
Thank you. Thanks for watching. For more Hanakuma's Good Trouble with Nick Kyrgios, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.